Alright, now we got daytime. See what they call God's light. We're getting close to sunset. Or some people call it that. There are other names for it. But the whole idea is that as the angle of the sun is low, this happens in the morning too, you get much more interesting looking colors. So this is the day after the night video. Now the paths are pretty much clear. Well, except up here where there was I guess no treatment for my neighbors. That's my neighbor's daughter is there. I want to talk to him, not her. Got a problem with the snowblower. The cable, it's actually a cable spring popped right at the end of clearing all the snow away. I think we can just extrude another loop from it, hook it. Well, that would probably be the better part of valor to order a new cable completely. We'll get to that. I think we're about done with the snow for this year. So, yeah. Oh man, look at all this stuff. It's still in the pathway here. Good thing I got my good shoes for this kind of stuff. They're waterproof and they got good tread. They're hiking boots as well. Good ankle support. And for one person that mentioned this and others who might have been concerned, I do have my coat on. It's actually 10 degrees warmer, like in the 30s today. Although a little breezy, so it doesn't feel that different than it did yesterday. I don't know whether we can really see the light up there or whether this is going to damp out the light. Just seeing a lot of snow here. I find it interesting, people didn't used to do this, but now everybody seems to do it. I do it too. Even it's like the handicap path. People didn't used to dig them out, but they did. I dig mine out even though it's not in front of my house. So it's up to one house up from me. That's if my neighbor who's in front of his house, if he doesn't do it, then I do it. Tactically speaking, I believe it's the township's responsibility. But they've never actually done it, and they didn't even put those in, except they were required by law to put the little ramps in. They're probably still ticked off about that, or at least in principle, if not in reality, you know. So they just never considered budgeting for clearing them because they were never required by law to do that. Taking my life in my hands here. Although there is a stop sign. And I think I made it. Yeah, it's I went for a long walk yesterday, not as long as I usually do. Didn't want to really get involved in sidewalks that might not be cleared. Today I'm not worried about that, but I'm a little tired, so I'm not going to go for a long walk. But this video, if I do the whole thing, it's probably going to end up being a lot longer than most of my videos. I may cut it down. Oh look, we got children playing in the snow. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. There we go, zooming in. I'm not real pleased with the zoom on this. It does work, but it seems like it makes it blurry. Anyway, I can see them real well for making a snow person, they have like up to the second heart. They still need a head. I think they notice I'm taking pictures. They don't mind. But usually I go over on that side when I walk this way. Maybe it's good that then. Now, another thing I notice a lot of times in these kind of weather conditions, you walk, and it's not always, like this road is really not that much of a difference. Some roads have a distinctive sunny side. And then when that is the case, it's usually better to be on that side because it's usually clearer. And actually there is a slight difference on this road. And it is the side I'm not on, although that's the side I'm usually on. So you gotta figure. And then in the summer, of course, the opposite is the case if it's hot. See, just as an example, here we are. Here's one driveway on the not the sunny side, not completely clear yet. And even here the bib is not. And we go almost directly across, completely clear. And this is just mostly, maybe a little diligence factor involved, but it's also mostly because of the way that the sun hits it. This guy never has to worry too much about getting around, I bet. It's his truck. It's always there, even in the good weather, although he doesn't have all those appliances on it. I came up this far, actually further. I'm going to go just as what I did yesterday, which I think is up to Indian Rock Drive. Or Indian Rock Doctor, as I like to call it sometimes. It's the same abbreviation. And I wonder what this is. Somebody can tell me what this thing is. I'll zoom in on that. It might be a Wi-Fi tower. But there are supposedly a lot of Wi-Fi hotspots in Springfield. By Xfinity or Comcast, which are basically the same, and Verizon may have their own. I don't know whether they do or not. But there's that one, and then the very next pole has the same thing, and I don't see them anywhere else around town. So I'm thinking that they're not Wi-Fi hotspots or something else. There used to be signs, I think there still are, along this street that threatened that your speed is electronically timed, which I always thought was just baloney in an attempt to get people to be more observant of the speed limit. But maybe that's what those things do. Let's see. What we got here? Yeah, here we still have the sign. Speed electrically in time. They've had that forever. Actually, before they ever had this, here's the other one. Just like the one back there. And there's like a box. See that brown box in front of the dormer? That kind of controls it. I saw something out, it was like Castle Crown or Crown Castle, a truck. The other day I was servicing it. Should look that up on the internet and see what they do. So I don't know too much else to say here. I'm also just about to the end of my run. I think what I'd do is I'd go up to where I turn around, and when I get there I'll stop recording. Although the return run we'll be looking into the sun and might see some interesting effects because of that. I may keep that up. And usually I don't turn around. Today I'm turning around at this corner that you can probably see already. But usually I continue on down the hill hang a Louis, go over to the park, and then zigzag on Hay Lane over to Sherman. That's for people that know the lay of the land around here. And then come back via Sherman, either to Butler, I think it is, or I'll cross over, I think it's called Midland. I don't really know the names of the streets exactly. But there's a couple of cross streets where I can come back, because I have to come back up this way or else go to somebody's backyard, which I don't really like doing. I think since I got out of my teens, I stopped sort of cutting through people's backyards, except maybe my neighbors on occasion. I used, like my direct neighbors. And very rarely do I do that. So now, I don't know, the sun's like in my face. But it's not, it's real intense because it's getting a little low already. And I think I'm going to just can this till maybe I get back down to where they're making the snow person.